Well, hello everybody. It looks like I'm going to do this a little earlier than I originally intended, but all the work's done, the day's over, and I'm ready to go now. So I'm going to shoot now and get through it and go through a lot of narratives. Again, it's funny how things happen. I've had a lot of phone calls, emails, and interests south of the border and even here at home with Americans on American and Canadian radio programs that want to interview me. They're disgruntled. A lot of people are disgruntled, especially if you're an American working, living, raising a family in Canada. You've seen everything change in your time. And now they're reaching out saying, Dave, we got problems. We got Fox News, Jesse Waters, and I got to give a big shout out to friend and follower, Mr. Harris, Carl Harris. He sent me a link to Jesse Waters, and it falls, folks, it falls into all the work I've been working on in Crown Corruption of America, specifically Republicans Unlimited, but a lot of the Democrats. But this one with Jesse Waters is troublesome. It's very troublesome. So what is Jesse saying that's got me just shocked and awed? And it's devastating to legacies like one Richard Nixon, absolutely one Ronald Reagan, who are two former Republican presidents who went toe to toe against that machine, against the idea of ever seeing Americans taxed without representation. And folks, we just watched Joe Biden in executive order do exactly that. Jesse Waters with the death of Queen Elizabeth II and now the bringing forward Charles III. He goes on to say, oh, the British monarchy is incredible. It's great. It released Canada officially in 1952. India as well. What are you all talking about? The British Empire is a pivotal greatness. It's free. It's democratic. It's not true yet. Yet in the Canadian Constitutional Acts of Canada, 13 different pieces of legislation crammed together in 212 pages, 11 amendments, not unlike the United States of America's Constitution. Americans read their Constitution from a young age. They go through the civics. They learn it in school. They're masters of their country by the time they graduate school in real civics. They know themselves, they know their country, they know their history. Yet, they don't know anybody else's. Apparently American civics is the end all and be all because they blindly believe that UK and the rest of the world is like that. They believe Canada must be just like the United States, isn't it? Well, it isn't. And what's troubling is when QANON supporting Jesse Waters, who sits there on his pedestal and Fox News, goes on for an hour-long episode talking about Canada, the Crown, and the British monarchy, and he is dead wrong. Folks, if you subscribe to that in the QAnon, Alex Jones and the rest of it, he just got his ass sued off for false information, dead families. There was nothing false or a lie about those children in the Sandy Hook massacre, and he got his ass sued off for it. In fact, he's going on round 3, well over the 50 million. He's looking at massive more. He just got damages of 4 million he owes on top of the 49 point some. Now they're taking 3 more families, combining those cases against him. He's going to be put down. He too praises Pierre Poilievre, praises the crown. Somehow that's not a conspiracy. That's greatness. Well, folks, it's not greatness. Right here in the title, Financial Post, in their very limited, these are doctorates, masters, and graduates of journalism, publishing stories about your crown lands, federal and provincial, and everyone is having a problem. Was it Queen Elizabeth's lands? Is it the institution called Canada's lands? Whose lands are they? I can tell you in that post, folks, clearly they draw the line that, yes, there's provincial and federal crown lands. Not one sentence says they belong to any of you, the Canadian citizens, or for that matter, any of the Canadian First Peoples, not the Treaty Indians, not the unceded Indians. All Canadians, all First Peoples, clearly left out of any legal notion of those lands belonging to you. They say they're of the Canada institution separated into provincial and federal. Well, folks, I can tell you legally absolutely what that means. And if you don't believe me, Chief Justice Wagner, the former Governor General of Canada, who well in that role temporarily after the nutcase astronaut from Quebec was thrown out on her ass, he sat in as the Chief Justice and rewrote the entire Crown position of Governor General in legal speak, plain speak, for all Canadians forevermore. Publishing the customary laws that you're not afforded. And even still today, in the link of this title, thank you, Dennis Woodrich, you clearly see how they can't narrate anything belonging to any of you, that somehow King Charles is the custodian over the two crowns, federal and provincial. Why is that, folks? Why would that be? Oh, I know why. Because in 1952, King George VI, while he removed UK crown from Canada entirely and Governor General, meaning the Majesty of Canada, federally, and lieutenant governors of every province and territory, the province's provincial crown, your provincial crown lands, removed all of UK entirely forevermore. He died before he could do constitutional dismemberment and redesign. You're filthy. I'm going to say it again. What Financial Post can't articulate or will not articulate, where a guy like Jesse Waters, corrupt with the crown himself, obviously can't articulate or doesn't want to bother in journalism to research, which is provided in a legal framework called the Constitutional Acts of Canada, published, public for everybody, but it's not in our education system because you, the lowly, dirty, filthy third class, i.e. slaves, and then the First Peoples, the savage Indians. Again, none of this legal speak is my speak. I'm not racist. I'm not none of those things. I didn't write any of it. I didn't craft it. It's what's written and established and consolidated into the highest laws of Canada. And again, Financial Post, Jesse Waters with Fox News can't even speak it to you. They say Canada's fully democratic. It's normal. Imagine for a second, for Americans who are in Canada watching, I know I have a number of you on my Facebook. Imagine USA wasn't settled. Imagine if almost 90%, 87% of America was not available to you. These aren't government parks. They're called crown lands of Royal Joe Biden, your highest lord, and then each and every state governor was lord of the provincial lands. They get these titles and these lands that they get to do whatever they want with and write any laws over such lands or allow any foreign activity, harvesting, any at all that they choose to without any democratic process, and hand all the bills over to you, the people, the defined slaves. And any savage Indian who gets in the way is to be eradicated or taken and transformed into a human being, another slave. That is the legal system of Canada in the Crown lands. That's what they've been doing forever and a day. You see, USA got independence. They didn't want to be under that system anymore. In fact, they made it illegal to erect statues of any lords, monarchs, or any of it. In fact, you had to tear them down. Many ended up in the Boston Harbor and all over the USA. They got torn down. They got nooses thrown over trees, hung those statues by the necks, beat them with clubs like a piñata until they broke apart into a million pieces. Now, in 1985, this was made illegal in Canada. It was made illegal. Joe Biden has also made it illegal in the United States under executive order. Everyone acts like it has to do with slavery. I can show you pictures in American history. It's not. It all had to do with getting rid of the monarchy by any means necessary. It's illegal in the Constitution of the United States of America. More than that, it's illegal in all 50 state constitutions, many of which were written before the United States Constitution itself. Imagine that. And today we have journalists, Republican journalists, cheering on the royal family, QAnon supporters, InfoWars supporters. Clearly, you have to ask yourself, Donald Trump didn't support any of that. In fact, there hasn't been a Republican president in any recent past since World War II that's ever purported any of that. This is all relatively new to the scene. Who does purport to it is clearly Joe Biden. Now, why would these cockamamie, crazy, ultra-right extremists come out with complete lies, journalists publishing lies about their next-door neighbor, somehow Canada's glory, when any journalist of a graduate of journalism, 4 years in university in investigative journalism, could easily pull the Canadian Constitution for themselves. They're trained in American civics. They have an American Constitution, and they can compare it page by page, preamble to preamble, act to act, section to section, article to article, and you will find they do not compare in any way, shape, or form remotely close or accurate to each other. In fact, you would say that is a totalitarian, autocratic, monarchical, crazy system. That doesn't smell American in any way, shape, or form. It is exactly what USA is not. They're literally opposite written documents, starting with the preamble. We, the people, the majesty of the crown, Queen Elizabeth II, or whomever comes next after her passing. You're going to watch it all get rewritten to Charles III. And it says right there in just the first few paragraphs of your Canadian Constitution, you can clearly see what has always remained, what's been consolidated, the 11 amendments. You can read through it, Canadians. It's not altered or changed or transformed. It's always remained exactly that way. So how is it masters and doctorates of journalism purporting to be Republicans who don't speak anything like Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon, or Donald Trump come up with crazy QAnon or InfoWars style Alex Jones shit that literally destroys the Republican Party? The kind of stuff said that Joe Biden purports and subscribes to and completes, like he signed the Atlantic Charter 2021. What gets me is, why is there no American journalist coming forward? Fox News. I've waited for this forever because it even really bothers me. It really bothers me. There's a Harvard graduate. The man's IQ is very high, and I've been waiting. Why does he not, with all his powerful mind and education from Harvard, why can he not clearly read these things and find the truth for himself? It's public. You can read. You have American civics. Why do you not read the Canadian Constitution to determine what's what? Why would you purport news holding that out or talking in a different narrative that's completely false? Because I wouldn't be saying things like, oh, Russia's a democratic republic with a six-party system. Well, that would be a lie. They're not a democratic republic. They're a civil law socialist republic. They're a one-party system. I know that. You think Fox News knows that? So if they're going to talk about the crown and all the countries attached to the crown, like the Financial Post, when you read it, Dennis Woodrich's news, he shared to me that clearly defines provincial and federal crown land, saying that Charles is the caretaker of it, but it doesn't belong to any of you, the Canadian people. It doesn't belong to any of the First Peoples, none of the Treaty Indians, none of the unceded Indians, Métis or Inuit. It's all in a crown in the institution of Canada. Well, what does the Constitution say about the federal and provincial crown? Well, folks, it says through Governor General. That means it's the Prime Ministers. Through all 10 Lieutenant Governors and three, same as Lieutenant Governors, the Territorial Commissioners, Royal Commissioners, which are the same defined Lieutenant Governor that was a UK power, has been transformed and transferred in entirety to your premiers, whomever you elect. They get all the land during their 4-year reign of terror. There are no rules of governance, how to govern, or any accountability. We are completely opposite of the United States of America. Unlike Jesse Waters and what he says, what's written constitutionally, that any journalist with a degree in journalism, never mind a master's or a doctorate or a prestigious Harvard degree, should be able to easily read the documents, compare them to the United States of America. In fact, then you should also go, well, they say they're a federalism. Let's go into the provinces and read their provincial constitutions. Oh, they don't have any. Oh, they're completely 100% autocratic. Zero checks and balances. Folks, QAnon be damned. InfoWars Alex Jones be damned. Jesse Waters Fox News be damned. You've proven to me you are nothing but a psyops Democrat plant, because everything you do and say that is cockamamie, false, misinformation to the maximum, not helping anyone, making the world worse, is in fact treasonous when you look at it. These are not dumb people, folks. Again, I'm going to say it. Harvard graduate, a master's in investigative journalism. You can't read. You can't read. People trust you for the news, but you can't read. You make a 1 hour special telling everybody how the Crown is democratic, everything happened this way, and this is what Canada is. But that's not the Constitution. And don't try to tell me or any other Canadian or American that you don't know civics. I know you're taught your Constitution and real civics from an early age all the way to grade 12. You made it that far, and then you went on and got a prestigious degree in investigative journalism. And you're going to tell me that you can't read. You couldn't compare the two clearly published documents, old, and easily found. But you can't do news stories that go through the truth. Instead, you make up a fake reality, the kind of fake reality that Elizabeth II and Charles III and everything that was the British Empire in all its entirety has enforced and pressed upon the world. You're going to give a cockamamie truth. You'd only do that if you were part of the $12 trillion war against America. Folks, it's real. It's a financial amount of money taken from all 52 Commonwealth countries, aimed squarely and directly at destroying America and Americans. This is a fact. Ronald Reagan went through it. Richard Nixon went through it. John Fitzgerald Kennedy, 3 presidents, went through it. I'm not one for conspiracies. Ronald Reagan was shot, attempted assassination. JFK was assassinated, and one Richard Nixon was completely and utterly character assassinated. He made a deal with communist Russia, communist China, one of the biggest deals of the century post World War II and into Cold War era and after. It's what led to the end of the Cold War. Within 10 years from that point, it was over. How did those monumental achievements happen? How did we get the Declaration of Human Rights 1948 cemented unanimously across the world? Well, that's how. No one will teach you this. Any investigative journalist can read this. It's real history. China will show you. They will show you. Zhang Zhen had it on his Twitter, highlighted for almost a year, just for America to back off. You made a deal. Honor your deal. Or it's World War III. Russia, same thing. Honor your deal or it's World War III. How many American soldiers have lost their lives to communists, and how many American soldiers have lost their lives to Crown? The answer is way more American soldiers throughout the entirety of history of America since its independence have lost their lives to the Crown. Then and even right now. Even right now. What? How's that possible? Go look at all the wars. Look at who USA fought. People try to tell me about 3 small communist country wars. Communist country wars with America. Numbers are still miles smaller than absolutely every other crown colonial war America's waged. America has been in a perpetual state of war since its inception. Very, very few times America is not at war with somebody. And you know what? In real history, credible, verifiable, a large majority of those wars are against crown colonials. They're in this world. They're majority of the countries in the world. Unitaries, empires, and monarchs. That's it. Full-on dictator unitaries, monarchs, emperors, same thing, doesn't matter. It's all crown-based, the divinity of a human being over another. I was given this power from God to rule over all these slaves, and some of those models say I have a savage human being that I must eradicate. This was Germany. This has always been UK. This has always been France. This has always been Portugal, Spain. Have some of them changed? Absolutely. Since World War II, they have changed, a lot of them. But the UK royal family is rearing its ugly head. Why is that? In 1952, upon the death of King George VI, I'm going to say it again. It's right here in the title of this Financial Post. Dennis Woodrich presents it to you. Financial Post tries to write a cockamamie shit, understanding that they have no answer. Because the answer, folks, is right in front of you talking right now, as I have been exclaiming for more than 5 years. It's why I built the Alberta Independence Party. It's why in 2025 I'm going to roll out with the Party of the Canadian Constitutionalists. The most fearful thing a Canadian could ever do against the Crown. Destroy the Crown. What? He's not corrupt. What? He's not greedy. What? Canadians want checks and balances. Canadians want the power to the people. They want rules of governance, how to govern, and accountability. Who does that? Sadly, folks, Democrats right now don't want that. Joe Biden signed the 2021 Atlantic Charter. Read it and weep. Read it and weep. Read the Atlantic Charter 1941. Read Joseph Stalin's Yalta Conference 1941 and 42. Read it. Read it. It's all been replaced. This Russian war, it's because Joe Biden signed the Atlantic Charter 2021 with Boris Johnson. And who stamped it off? Queen Elizabeth II. Who crafted it? Charles III. He was the prince then. Go read your 2012 Commonwealth Charter Canada signed. Why did they sign that? Why did Harper, after 3 years in news media, you can pull all the media for 3 years? Where's Fox News? Where's Jesse Waters? Where's the glorious Alex Jones? Do we have a QAnon problem here? Do we have a bunch of crown-loving lunatics in bed destroying the Republicans, destroying the idea of Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon, JFK, who got wise to it? Because American civics, it's hard not to get wise to it. Joe Biden wants to be king of America. He's proven it with his executive orders. Taxation without representation. Americans, Canadians. The idea of paying off student loans, i.e., placing the debt on all other Americans, is another taxation without any representation at all. Who does that? Oh, yeah, kings do that. That's right. They put it on the backs of all the slaves. Pay by votes. I'm the king. Love me. I give you free stuff off your own backs. Robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's the mark of a monarch. USA's not perfect. USA needs more amendments. It has the power to do that. It has a lot of tremendous checks and balances. But what happens to those checks and balances when you have people like Jesse Waters, Alex Jones with these radical narratives to make the Republicans look crazy just in time for midterms, so that any view on the radical inflation, any view at all on the evil of the crown, which has infested Canada worse than anywhere else in the world. We pay for that crown. We're already paying massive military, massive Privy Council movement for Queen Elizabeth II's death. They're already getting ready for the new minted coins with the monarch's reign on it, Charles III. It's happening. Bills will come next. Billions upon billions upon billions of dollars. If you think Pierre Poilievre isn't on board with this, he is pure crown. Even more so probably than Trudeau. I know he's going to be likely the next prime minister, but what will it mean? There is a video I made that goes through another nutcase in history who during his reign of terror, 50s to 70s, brought back the Spanish monarchy. His name literally means the same as Pierre Bolivar. It's Spanish. It's Spanish. You can go look at that. It's crazy. It's crazily unbelievable, but it's true. And people don't want to look at these truths. America's in a lot of trouble. Most people who are alive, who remember the evil of the crown, World War II, World War I, again, if you've never looked at the Allies and the Axis before Russia and USA got in the war, it was all colonial crown autocrats fighting over who will kill the savages, who will steal the savages' land, who will get the savages' land. The big winner of World War I was France. They got all of Germany's colonial assets from Africa, all transferred to France. World War II, France fell. UK was going the way of the dodo. USA and Russia bailed them out. China came and bailed them out. Japan, another crown colonial. Where did Japan get its education from? How did Nazi Germany come to be? Where did Hitler get the idea of Chancellor? Where did Japan get all of its information from? How did it make its design? How did it use the crown so evilly? How did they get everybody on board? Well, you can find the answers to that in all the delegations from Germany and Japan for many decades leading up to World War II as they went to British Columbia. British Columbia. Massive, massive, massive works logged in Canada. I've got paperwork stacked like this. No accident, folks. I can't make this stuff up if I wanted to. The greatest academics will back it up. It's written in your history books. Higher education. Reality. The 1933 Enabling Act of Germany against the Jews. Where did Hitler get the idea to write it the way he wrote it? How did he get all the Germans to fall in line, follow suit? Well, it was really easy. It was the same crown power utilized so successfully in Canada. It's called the 1876 Indian Act. And no, it's not from the United States. It's from the province of Canada, 1857. More American journalists, wrong, dead wrong. All these crazy, cockamamie, lunatic, nut, narcissistic, crown-loving colonials all hail from Canada. All hail from Canada. The things that made USA weak and disturbed in its history come from its neighbor Canada, or absolutely from the former British Empire, former French Empire, former Spanish Empire, former Portuguese Empire. Why? Because they were all the same. America fought all of them, and then some. Mexico as well, too. Drunk on the crown corruption. An evil that can transform human beings by corrupting their soul, by giving them the power of God. Human beings are not God. USA was very, very careful with its founding fathers to articulate a constitution that brought equality of men before God, and that no man or woman would ever be God. That's called the God Clause, that no man or woman can ever be worshipped like a god or empowered by God. That's just not true. That's a nut job. And anyone who thinks that somehow that's normal in 2022, you're sadly mistaken. That is Canada. That's all your politicians. It's the concept of crown land being divine because God appointed Elizabeth and her family. The angels from heaven gave her the power and the swords, which she gives little crowns to Canada. Don't worry, Trudeau, this is your crown. I'll keep your secret. You give me international control over your country. Give all my elites access to rape, pillage, and plunder your country. Do this, or I rat you out to the United Nations Security Council, glorious allies, USA, Russia, and China. I will rat you out. Oh no, Harper didn't want to lose his crown. Oh no, Trudeau didn't want to lose his crown. They are lords over all of you. They said, no problem, Mumsy. It's all yours. We'll keep the lie alive. Just allow me to be the next Hitler. I'll do a good job. I'll do a good job. I'll fly under the radar. If you haven't figured it out, France does it all over the world too. Spain is still doing it all over the world too. Portugal still has some assets all over the world too. And they're all the colored people, all the colored folks. You can go through the rainbow of colors and you will find all those evil empires all over it forever and a day. You'll even find Japan there. Australia, Canada, New Zealand, rotten to the core. The three jewels. Canada being Canada One, Canada First. The first design. So successful in bamboozling so many slaves. Oh, guys like Joe Biden would love that power, and he may get it. As long as they have people like Jesse Waters, InfoWars, if you got Alex Jones, lunatics like that, you can corrupt the Republican Party. You can knock them down so many pegs so that no one takes them serious. Will another Ronald Reagan rise up in civics and love his people and fight back in tremendous speech? Will there be another Richard Nixon? Will there be a JFK? I don't know. I would think so. 320 million people. Come on, Republicans. Will Trump come back from the verge, from the brink? Will he let go of lunatic and follow rule of law? Go with republicanism for the people, by the people? I don't know. I guess we'll see. It might be too late. I don't know. All I know is I have 3 years of work to do. I have work to do with academia. I have much work to do with America before I come back for the run in 2025. I will do that. I'm going to be on radio in 2 short weeks. The host, he's going away on a holiday with his wife, and we're planning to do that for all of you. So I will slowly start building back the engine coming on, and we will be going into residential school genocide again too. I won't be running that. I'm going to have one person run that with a good team. We have new members to vet through that team who want to get on board, and I want to see that happen. I want to see Canadians and First Peoples educated on the truth. If you haven't read in this link that piece from Financial Post, read it. Tell me what you think. They're holding back. Whose crown land is it? Provincial, federal, what do you mean institution? Institution, whose institution? Why are we the people not named there? Because you're not. Read your Constitution. Why are there no First Peoples named there? They're not in the Constitution. You're in a charter that is decided by that institution, the federal crown, through Governor General. Who's Governor General sworn oath to? Oh yeah, Prime Minister. The autocratic dictator. Finally, this is for my friend John Carpe. You lost to the Superior Court of Ontario. Mandated mandatory vaccinations for students going to school in Ontario, college and universities. Folks, whether you like it or not, it's endemic. Canadian government, Doug Ford's government in the province of Ontario, that's Superior Court. John Carpe lost to Doug Ford's government in massive majority. He ordered the Crown Lieutenant Governor to order the judge mandate vaccinations for those students. I'm telling you all right now, the 2 antibodies present in the blood absolutely wipe out all versions of COVID-19. Does all the population produce those? No. Do vaccines create the reaction in the body to produce the both antibodies needed for every version of COVID-19? The answer is no. No. Not in the efficacy that's required to defeat all versions of COVID-19, meaning you need the synthesized antibody treatment if you don't have the antibodies in your blood. I'm triple vax. The vaccine didn't matter for me. My body, my blood produces the 2 antibodies. Little secret, guys. So do most of you watching me right now, vaccinated or not. You produce the 2 antibodies too. Now let's all just slow our roll. There's a percentage of the population that doesn't produce them. And even if they're vaccinated, even if they're boosted, there's no guarantee that one version of COVID-19 their immune systems come in contact with, if their immune systems are compromised, even with those shots, that they can beat every single different version. Some versions will skate past the vaccine or not. See the problem here? Vaccines rendered useless. It's not me. This is science. Tel Aviv. John Carpe, my friend. If you haven't seen the publication, Tel Aviv, that should be going to court in the appeal and say, well, what's this? If those students' blood works come back and those 2 antibodies are present in their blood, why the hell would the government mandate a vaccine upon them? We're endemic. What's wrong with this country? And folks, that wasn't Justin Trudeau federally. That was one Doug Ford, massive majority provincial conservative leader of Ontario, the provincial crown premier, his Superior Court. If you don't believe me, go look up Superior Court of the provinces. Oh, the highest court of the provincial crown government. Well, who is that? Oh, that's Doug Ford. It's Doug Ford, not Justin Trudeau. Even though I hate Justin Trudeau, I hate them all. I hate all the crown corruption. And I want to be clear about that. I am not a liberal. People try to say that when I slam conservatives. When I slam liberals, it's I'm a radical right conservative. When I slam conservatives, I'm a lunatic left liberal loving Justin Trudeau. I can't believe how cockamamie and ignorant people are. You've got the facts, you've got the truth. Tel Aviv, 2 antibodies discovered. Not me, I'm not a doctor, I've never been an expert. But what I do bring is absolutely every credible source of experts. That's a real medical experiment, completed, study done. It's in the world medicine. Why isn't Canada recognizing it? How many years are we going to run autocracy? And how many people are we going to beat the shit out of legally under the crown? Because that's the autocratic power of the crown. I thought we were following science, right, folks? Guess it's only science if the crown says it is. That's my video. Good night, everybody. Have a great day. Bye now.